warmest greetings to the alumni of Yeshiva Orel Chabad. At the end of this week's Parsha, the Torah says how Yosef bought the land of the Egyptians and gave it to Paro, who then returned the land to the Egyptians, who had to pay a 20% tax. However, as the Chumash says, Rak admas hakayanim levadam lahaisa lefare. The land of the Kohanim, the Egyptian priests, was not given to Pharaoh. They were independent and remained independent. Why did Yosef set it up that way? So the Shalah says that the reason Yosef did that is to show hakaras hatov, to show gratitude to the Kohanim, to the priest, because, says the Shalah, they helped him avoid the death penalty. And if someone does a favor to you, you have to show gratitude. And the Shalah says, whether he's Jewish or not, you always have to show gratitude. Now, how did the Egyptian priests save Yosef? After all, he was accused of assaulting the wife of Potiphar. You would imagine that such a crime would have resulted in the death penalty. Well, the Shalah quotes the Targum Yonasan, who says that there was a trial and the priests demonstrated that Yosef was not guilty. If you want to know exactly how, those details, you could look in the Targum Yonasan. It explains there how they proved he wasn't guilty. And also, by the way, there's a Chizkuni who has another version of how Yosef was proved not guilty. So he was not sentenced to death, but instead they put him in prison, as we know. We're just leaving the month of Kislev, where we celebrated the liberation of the Alter Rebbe twice, Yutes Kislev, the third day of Hanukkah, and we really hopefully take that to heart. We usually emphasize the teaching of Chassidus that the Alter Rebbe bequeathed to us and gave to the Jewish people. The inwardness, the inner light of Torah that enlightens Yiddishkeit and Torah and Judaism in general, makes it bright and shining. And we have that as a gift from the Alter Rebbe, and we try to share that with the rest of the world. But there are other things that the liberation of the Alter Rebbe led to. The derech of Chassidus, first of all, that emphasizes Ahavas Yisrael, general love for every single Jew, as is explained in the 32nd chapter of Tanya. But there's something else that we often don't emphasize enough in the Alter Rebbe's teachings. And that a primary teaching of Chassidus is that we should feel a special love for our own community, for the Anshe Shlemenu, for our brotherhood. That is, we should have a sense of achdus, of chassidim with one another, of love for one another, of a feeling of camaraderie and kinship and empathy and concern and caring for our fellow chassidim. And we should regard them as a family. That's an extremely important part of Chassidus too. That sense of gratitude, that sense of caring, that sense of family, that sense of togetherness for our own community. May we take the inspiration of Yutes Kislev and of Hanukkah, not only to learn Chassidus and to practice the Darkei Chassidus, and to increase our Ahavas Yisrael in general, but also to cultivate our sense of community, our sense of family with one another.